Hi guys, so let us continue with our examples under the double angle formulas, the use of them. Right, so this one they say they want you to solve for sine 22.5 degrees, assuming without a calculator, right? Without a calculator. How are you going to do this? First things first, is this a special angle? No. But let's try to multiply that angle by 2. Multiply by 2. So it's double angle, essentially. It's 45 degrees. This is a special angle, right? So now the question is, how do we get to sine 45 degrees? I mean, sine 45 degrees would mean that it's sine 22.5 degrees, right? That is true. And when we're going to expand this, it's going to be, let us look at our formulas. We can use this form. It's going to be 2 sine 22.5 degrees and cos 22.5 degrees. So we know that this, when you multiply out as sine 45 degrees, is equal to 2 sine 22.5 degrees cos 22.5 degrees. So we will want to isolate this by dividing its sine 45 degrees divided by 2 cos 25 degrees, which is going to be sine 22.5 degrees, which is, we want our answer to be such that this is isolated, right? But here's a problem. We can change this into a fraction, right? Because we know our special angles. But we cannot somehow convert this without the use of a calculator. So now that raises another problem. Now what? So we tried to work with sine 45 and, expand it out in a double angle formula. It didn't work because we have this. We have cos 22.5 degrees that we somehow cannot solve. Okay. So what's our next solution? Maybe we can work with cos 45 degrees. Let's see how we're going to do that. Let me just erase everything here. Delete. So let's try to work with cos 45 degrees using the same principle. So we know that cos 25 degrees is the same as cos 22.5 degrees. Okay, so this is a double angle. Cool. So from which of these three formulas do we want to use? We are solving for sine 22.5, right? So we want to use a formula that's only going to have sine, to just make things much easier to isolate that sine. And we can tell that sine is going to be sine 22.5 because of this angle over here. So which formula can we use? Which one only has sine? It's this one. Remember, we're working with cos 2 angle, cos 2 angle. So yes, let us go ahead and do that. Let's expand this out and use this formula. It's going to be 1 minus 2 sine 22.5 degrees. You can just write it in this way. It's squared. But wait, we already say that, okay, 2 multiplied by 22.5 is cos 45 degrees, right? 1 minus 2 sine 22.5 degrees squared. We know that 45 degrees is a special angle. So what would the fraction be? We would have to know this, right? 45 degrees is a special angle. So, okay. Now it seems as if we are getting somewhere. We want to isolate this, right? So let us take this whole thing to the other side and this to the other side. So it's going to be 2 sine 22.5 degrees squared is equal to 1 minus square root of 2 divided by 2. Let us simplify over here first. So it's going to be 2 minus square root of 2 divided by 2, right? And so if we're going to divide by 2 over here, we're going to end up with sine 22.5 degrees squared is equal to 2 minus square root 2 over 4. And when we take the square root of everything, because there is a square there, so you want to remove that square by square rooting, you're going to be left with sine 22.5 degrees. And like we said, what did we say by square rooting? It's going to be plus minus square root of 2 minus square root 2 over 4. You can take it further by just saying plus minus square root of 2 minus square root 2. What is the square root of 4? Is 2. And that is going to be your answer. So you see how at first we had to see, okay, let's work with sine 45 degrees first. It didn't work. And then we decided, okay, let's work with cos 45 degrees first. And it worked. We broke down this 45 to be cos 2, this particular angle. And then we went through the whole, and then we multiplied this 2 back over here because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just that, yeah, you just had to break it down so that we can kind of write it in this form, right? In this double angle form to see that, okay, it's a double angle of this angle, right? And we wanted to do that because, I mean, we were given this angle over here. So we kind of sort of wanted to see how we're going to incorporate that in order to solve for this final answer over here. So yes, I understand that this is a high level question. I highly doubt that they can give you this sort of question in this difficulty, but it's possible. It's possible. So like I said, you just want to keep on practicing these type of questions. Yes, see me do them and then after practice on your own so that you can get used to these sort of questions and how to change your perspective on how you look at them, right? And yeah, that is it for this video. Let us look at another example similar to this.